Oh, hey everybody. It's another San Antonio Tech Dad podcast. My name's Alan Bush, and I'm here with
I'll be Drew today.
you,
All
Drew,
right,
today.
well, if you're Drew, then I'm Corey.
All right, that's all three of us here today. Corey and I held down the fort last week. Drew, great to have you back.
Glad to be back.
Yeah, it's the couple weeks after Thanksgiving, just a few days before Christmas, and probably get one more of these in here before next year. Yep. So Corey, you went out this evening and did a little Christmas light fun with the family.
Yeah, so took the family out to the zoo, San Antonio Zoo, and they're doing the Zoo Lights Festival right now, which is really awesome. It's running from the 14th to the 18th, and then I believe it's running next week through Christmas. Tickets were $6. Children under 2 are completely free. The lights are fantastic. It's very interesting to be in the zoo at nighttime when it's dark, and a lot of the nocturnal animals are out, but everybody else is asleep. Like the bears are out cold, the monkeys are asleep. It's madness, and it's a lot of fun actually. I had a blast being down there. They have a whole section by the carousel that you go to. And the carousel's running, so everybody's running on that. All the lights are done down there. And then they have like a little walkway where they have like little games, reindeer ring toss. Spend $5 and you can pick a mystery box. Everybody's a winner, and like there's a tablet hidden somewhere in one of those boxes, so everybody's trying to buy the box to see which one gets a tablet. They don't specify which tablet though, which I thought was interesting. I was like, so is it an iPad? Is it a Kindle? Is it a Surface? What am I getting for my $5 if I win?
Yeah, usually if they just say tablet on it, it's a brand that you've never heard of before. So
You use a chisel to carve into this tablet.
These are these commandments I'm going to write in this tablet. Watch this. So that was pretty cool. It was just fun to walk through it, be there in the nighttime. Just see all the lights. Don't expect to go there and see animals. I'm trying to get that very much across because my kids were like, let's go see this animal. I'm like, nope. Let's go see this. Nope. How about that? Nope. No animals.
I imagine the bats were still just as batty. And,
of course. And, I mean, you got to see the rhino sleeping. So that was exciting.
That is as compelling as the rhino typically. I'm just saying.
Oh, I won't lie though. So one of the cool things that did happen, because there was one animal that was out, the king of the jungle was out, and he was SATechDads, obviously, grumpy dads at 2:00 in the morning when the kids wake up, and we're sitting there, and all of a sudden it just starts roaring like top of its lungs, and of course there's no other sound, so people were like, "What is that?" I'm like, "It's the lion. He's he's eating or something, and we can't see him because it's dark." So people are shining their phones, like trying to get a light or picture of him, and he's just sitting there, roaring the entire time. And it was great, and it was funny because while we were sitting there, my girlfriend looks over, and one of the kids next to her goes, "Why is he roaring? What's going on?" And she literally looks at her and goes, "What's your dad like at 2:00 in the morning?" And the little girl goes, "Oh." And I was like, "Oh, okay, great. That's exactly right." But it was fun. It was fun. One other cool thing that they do is for a couple bucks you can buy a package of s'more stuff. So they give you like a little thing of like you can buy hot cocoa, you buy a little thing that has like some chocolate, your graham crackers, and your marshmallows, and they have fire pits set up, and they give you actual like forks to walk over and make on the fire right there in the zoo. So that was really cool to do. That's just a lot of fun activities. Real quick walk. We did it in about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Got all the way through the entire thing and saw all the lights and everything. Highly recommend it, especially if you have time in the holidays. Absolutely go if you can.
all right, so that's going now through the end of the year, basically, right?
Yeah, through the end of the year, basically. So now, right now, I think it's only $6 until the 18th, and I think next week it goes up because of the holidays. But definitely, if you can get in now, go.
Well, sounds good. Sounds good.
Is the petting zoo open?
No, petting zoo is not open. Again,
Okay.
no animals. See, I'm telling you, like I told my kids, no.
The most interactive, so I thought I'd ask.
That's true. So no, the petting zoo is not open. Like the area where the birds, where you can walk in and like to go in the aviary and the birds fly. None of that is happening. So everything, all the animals are asleep.
Except for the lion, who is doing
Except for the
something
lion.
noisy at 2:00 in the morning. Yeah,
He's mad because his kids woke him up and he's like, really? Come on, guys.
I can believe that. I can believe that. Cool. We'll definitely have to check that out. Glad that you were able to go tonight and that we didn't talk about it on the show, because basically everything we've talked about going to on the show that happens to be outdoors gets rained out. So it's probably going to start raining for the rest of the year. So I apologize for that in advance.
On the bright side, there will still be a coffee event. It just won't be last weekend. I think it's planned for sometime in January. So
the 9th of January, the San Antonio Coffee Festival, Pavita, got rescheduled for the 9th of January. Yeah, so that'll be interesting. There's some smaller names in coffee in San Antonio, some that you might expect to see, and some that you might not. There's some that you would expect to see that aren't on the list. So it's kind of an interesting list there. Not sure how that list got put together, but
yeah. I had always been curious. There's a company on there called White Elephant Coffee, and it's one of the few places that I have not tried here in town yet, and I made it a point to get that done. So this morning I got some coffee at White Elephant, and I think they had 3 single origins for pour over. They had a Colombian, an Ethiopian, and Guatemala or some other Central American coffee, and then their espresso is a blend of an Indonesian and the Ethiopia, and I had an Americano. They have a Slayer espresso machine, which is beautiful, and those machines are incredible if you know what you're doing. And I had an Americano that I enjoyed thoroughly. I didn't go for any of the plus milk drinks, but they've got a beautiful Probat roaster in the building too, and it's down on South Presa, which there's a lot of things going in down there. I know Merit has their roastery down there. I know Freetail put their big brewing and shipping establishment down a little bit further on Presa. And if you're into tacos, Taco Haven has some pretty legit business going on there. But I knew where it was, and I drove right past it. So keep your eyes open. It's not on the corner. There's another building there on the corner, but they're attached to that building. So I would recommend White Elephant, and they should be part of the coffee SA Coffee Fest, and so they're worth checking out. If you're there, look into their booth and see what they're up to, because the beverage that I had was absolutely worthwhile.
Awesome.
Very much looking forward to checking out White Elephant. Haven't had a chance to go there, and now that got that endorsement from you, that coffee festival, it's even better. So
I hadn't even heard about them, and thank you for the pro tip, Drew, on how to find it, because I would have been out there just driving in circles going, I want coffee.
I drove in at least one circle, so hopefully I can save you that circle. The setup there is pretty solid. They've got a couple of big Yama glass cold drip brewers, which are these giant coffee towers that do a very slow drip cold brew method. The Yama glass is out of Japan, and so they've got a couple of those in the back. I didn't see them in use, and I didn't inquire about iced coffee, but it definitely, I'm going to be back to try some more of their wares, and it's just been really impressive to see the San Antonio coffee scene grow so rapidly. There's already 3, maybe 4 Slayer machines in town, 3 or 4 roasters that are getting pretty good publicity on what they're putting out. I mean, I've had some really good stuff from Merit, and Brown, I think, is the best coffee in the state, if not the broader region. So there's a lot of good things happening in the San Antonio coffee scene. Glad to know that White Elephant lands on the good side of that. But I've only had one beverage, but from everything I saw and tasted, would recommend.
Good. Yeah, it's amazing how much great coffee there is, both on the production side and the roasting, and then the finished product side. And with the you mentioned 4 or 5 different Slayer machines. I mean, those are great great machines that allow you to really dial in. Not only are they beautiful to look at, but they're beautiful to taste as well. They really let the barista dial in exactly the coffee they want to make. So it's a more of an investment, but it means that there's people that care about that finished product. So you're using great local, locally sourced coffee or locally roasted at least coffee, and finishing it off just right. So. One other thing, Drew, I know you're involved with quite a bit. I've been involved with a few times is Puro Cafe. Again, I think we've mentioned it a couple of times on here, but it's Friday mornings in San Antonio. There's a local meetup group, like at meetup.com. There's a group for Puro Cafe here in San Antonio, and you can go and join them for coffee at a different coffee shop every week. So check it out.
Absolutely worth meeting other coffee people here in town.
Yeah, it's an interesting mix of people too. So there are people that roast their own coffee. There are people that literally took time off of work to learn more about coffee, and from harvesting to roasting it to preparing it. To people who are just, hey, I like to drink coffee, and that didn't know that there are Slayer machines out there that allow these wonderful, finely tuned coffee creations. So great mix of people there. Okay, I think the only other thing that we had kind of on our agenda here is something that I find pretty interesting. This is something, I think we brought it up on our very first show about one of the, how do you share photos between people in your family? And Google Photos has actually come out with a very nice little update that I'm taking full advantage of. They've actually allowed for shared photo albums between, you can choose who you're going to share them with. So I've been using them just a little bit, and it's been nice to have that available. It's a pretty simple process. I mean, you just go through and you grab one or more photos, and you say, hey, I'm going to put these photos into an album, and then you can choose to share that album with one or more people, and then you can choose whether or not those people can add photos to it. And so it's you can push photos to the parents and grandparents if you want to, or you can actually invite somebody else to it. So I mean, the immediate thing that came to mind is that my wife and I put together a shared album of pictures of just our family, and I take pictures on my phone, she takes pictures on her phone. We both use Google Photos, so they automatically get backed up to the cloud. So that's great. We have them, but they're in two separate locations. So now we can just say, this is our shared photo album, and they all go into the same one. And then we can share them out however we want to after that. So we're really enjoying that. I mean, I think there's so many different uses that would be great for that. Going out to a wedding or a birthday party or something like that, where everybody's going out. You say, hey, here's that album. Everybody put your photos in there, and you don't have to worry about trying to share those photos later on. They're just there. The other day, I actually saw somebody shared a photo on Facebook. They're holding up, you could see their hand around a phone, and they took a screenshot. They used the camera off of one phone to take a picture of the screen of another phone. I actually saw that shared on social media, and everything is wrong with that.
Right, you're doing it wrong.
All of it.
Just put both phones down, return them wherever you got them. Yeah. Find an adult.
Yeah. Yes. So,
phoneception, is that what that is?
Someone is going to someday teach them the screen capture technique, and they're going to kick themselves for doing it the wrong way, and then someone's going to kick them for doing it that way, and they're like, oh, I could have just done this, and they would have still shared their screen cap.
Let's be honest, it's probably a dad.
Yeah, it was
technology, and he doesn't know what to do yet, and he's all, I just want to do one of these, I just want these.
How many phones do I need? Can I get a selfie stick to throw the...
I want to take a picture. Hold on. I can't.
Well, it's weird. I mean, that's what I think of. I mean, when I think of my phone, I think of taking pictures. And I just got a system update on my phone today, and I was like, ooh, it had a really cool animation. I was like, I should take a picture of that. So I actually reached out and I picked up my own phone while this is going on it. Never mind the fact that it's not turned on. There's no way for me to take a picture of the. Yeah. So that all transpired in a couple of milliseconds, but still, it was, yeah.
I'm glad you thought better of it.
Yeah, me
Good
too,
job, sir.
Me too.
Good job.
The other thing that I like about the Google Photos is that any photo album that I have, I can actually take those and put them onto any Chromecast, right? So if I have access to a Chromecast, that's the little wireless streaming dongle that Google has. Plugs into an HDMI port on a TV, so I can send those out. So I'm going to experiment with that and see if it will work for sending photos to my mom, right? So I can buy her a Chromecast for Christmas at a very reasonable price, have that shipped directly to her, and just say, hey, in your settings, choose this option, and it will show up right there, right on your right on your TV. And anytime your TV is on and you're not streaming anything, hey, here's pictures of all of your grandkids. Because I can put photos into it. I can set it up for both of my sisters and their families to push photos to that, and she can have a live, constantly updated photo album of all of her grandkids. And I'm really looking forward to that to see if that's feasible.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
A searchable function is one of the greatest things about Google Photos. Is you're able to tag these photos and be able to say, look for dog, and then everything that's got dog gives you all the pictures of the dogs in it, selfie or whatever you want to tag it in. My question is the search functionality, does that follow with? So say, okay, hey mom, I'm sending you a bunch of pictures, and she's like, okay, I just want to see Christmas 2015. Christmas, and it pulls up all Christmas photos. If that's the case, that's fantastic.
So I'm not sure how that's going to work once they share. I need to dig into that a little bit more. That's a great question.
Because I don't want to be like, hey, here's an album of everything. Just start sifting through until you see something new.
Yeah. So when the way it works for my photos, right, the photos that I have, I can search for a dog. I don't have to tag it. I don't have to do any input. Like Google knows, hey, that's a dog, and you can put it there. And then it'll also group similar faces. So it says, hey, this is one person, this is another person, this is a third person. This is all individualized, so it's not going to follow it anywhere. But I can say, yes, that person, I'm going to call that person Bobby, and I'm going to call this person Susie, and this is Steve, and any name I want to, I can just put on it. And it'll follow it. It'll know that. So I don't know if it would work once it's shared with somebody else. Maybe my mom could say, hey, that's Alan, that's Sarah, that's Lisa. And take all of them and choose them and give them her own names. I don't know how that's going to work, but
that's us, Drew. By the way, so when he tags photos, he doesn't really put us by our name. I'm Bobby. You're Steve.
Yes.
Who's Susie then?
Well, I don't know who Susie is. I have to go through his album, and if I can't do the search thing, I don't know how I'm going to find Susie.
No one's going to know.
That's a problem.
We'll never know. So yeah, I'm really positive on Google Photos and sharing so far. I was able to opt in on Monday, so I've had a couple of days to play around with it, and definitely looking to do a little bit more research. Corey, I'll definitely check on some of those features that you're looking for that you noticed. And then the other thing that Google just released, and I think this is great too, they finally released a family plan for sharing their Google Play Music service, and I'm a big fan of their music service. They acquired a company called Songza probably about 18 months ago, at least a year ago, and Songza did hand-curated playlists, and Google acquired them. And like Songza's kind of a thing was, hey, it's Sunday morning. Are you getting up and going out to work out? Are you cleaning the house? What are you doing? These are things that people normally do on Sunday mornings. What are you doing? But then Google adds their own layer on it, and I've allowed Google to understand a little bit more about my day. So Google might say, oh hey, every day you drive to work at 7 o'clock in the morning. Oh hey Alan, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. You open up Google Play Music. Are you driving to work? And then it will have a road a driving music playlist or something like that. So I really like that feature. And now for $15 a month as opposed to $10 a month each, right? The entire family can have access to that. So it's not just access to streaming music. It's access to streaming music, ad-free YouTube, which is worth $15 a month a piece, if you ask me. And then the thing that I also like is that I was able to put down a family credit card for the Play Store. So anytime I need to buy an application or something like that, we can buy it on the family credit card, and it's now available on any Android device that I have, that my wife has, any tablets or anything like that we might share with the kids. So they're all available across all of our devices. So that's very, very convenient for us as well. So if we want to buy a movie or buy a game or something like that, we can buy it off of the family card. So
that's cool. That's in my opinion totally worth $15 a month. Absolutely. So yeah. And I mean, I pay $10 a month for Spotify alone, but I don't do shared. I mean, you can do shared playlists with other people and collaborate. But like, I have $10 a month. My girlfriend pays $10 a month. My brother pays $10 a month, and then we can share playlists amongst each other. But we don't have like a cumulative playlist library. So I think that's very interesting. I'm curious to see how that goes and what the feedback is for that, especially for heavy music listeners. I want to see how that works out. But with the media, yes, absolutely, that's a plus.
Yep. And no ads on YouTube, which is great for me. I don't have to wait 4 seconds to skip something. And then when the kids are watching, sometimes we're watching, we're going through videos. Bill Nye had all of his videos on for quite a while, and so my oldest son and I would watch those. But every once in a while, there'd be an ad that would come across, and sometimes it was an ad that was nothing inappropriate. But I mean, it's I don't want any ads to get in the way of the science. So it's nice to.
But Michelob Ultra is the best beer for events. You're out.
Yeah. Not likely.
But that's what the advertisers say, and your son needs to know that at a very early age.
Oh, so that's already started. I don't know if you guys have experienced that or not, but it was there was a spill in the kitchen, and we're cleaning this up, and my son said, "Oh, if we would have had Bounty paper towels, it would have already been cleaned up by now because we would have had to use less paper towels." Like, there's no more TV for you.
because Dad, it's the quicker picker upper. We got to go now. Oh.
And they were Bounty.
Son, look at the bag. We buy the quality stuff.
Yes. So,
oh man.
Yeah. So we're at that point where he's very ad susceptible. So we got to watch out for that. So. All right. Well, I think that's all that we had. So check out Google Play Music. Check out Google Photos. Check out White Elephant Coffee, Puro Cafe, and then check out the zoo lights because there's all types of great stuff going on in San Antonio and around right now. Do we miss anything? What did we miss, guys?
Man, I think that's it. We're not recording again until after the holiday, are we?
No, I don't think so.
We'll have one more before the end of the year, I think.
We might be able to squeeze that one in there. Yeah.
Squeeze one more in and have the end of the year Tech Dads podcast, best of all 5 episodes.
I think this is our 6th or 7th one. So,
Nice! Look at us making headway. I like it.
Exactly. Great.
It may be a brief greatest hits, though.
Right.
So it'll be a top 5 list, so we can definitely put that together. So,
Take that.
I know which 2 I would cut.
Wow. All right, noted.
Shots fired.
It's the one that Corey and I did without you last week.
Yeah. That's a must.
Yeah, I see how it is. All right, fine. Fine.
Yep.
All right, guys.
Sounds good. All right, let's sign off. We'll see you guys next week.
Oh man.
Take it easy.